That doesn't sound too hard.
R2, where are you?
Okay, here we go. I'm here now, doing stuff. Obviously, setting up Loose Cannon Studios North here. Alex being Loose Cannon Studios West, and then Patrick being Loose Cannon Studios Prime, I guess. Whatever. Yeah, you're probably going to hear a little bit of an echo here for a couple of seconds because I'm checking levels on this kind of thing. Oh, hey, there I am. Here I am for a couple seconds with you. All right, so what am I doing right now? So what have I been obsessed with here since the last 6 months? So you might see that's been sort of pretty quiet on our radar. We've done one episode this summer, and that's about it. Granted, we've all had really crazy schedules. Patrick is now traveling. I've been traveling for literally every weekend this summer. I think before Labor Day weekend, I was home once after moving. So I'm gonna I'm not gonna tell you some OPSEC. In fact, I forgot to scratch out some of my personal information on here. But what I've been thinking about, what I can't stop obsessing over for the last 6 months, is a game that some influencers in the tabletop space will say is a dead game. Unfortunately, I caught on to a dead game and caught the bug maybe 2 years too late for this. But at Star Wars Celebration, I actually demoed a game. I was hoping to demo a different game called Star Wars Outer Rim, which I can talk about some other time. But I ended up sitting because this is the game that was available for a game that's called Star Wars Destiny. Here's some bags, and I'll show you the problems I began to have because I can't stop buying these little things now. Because literally something collectible, and if you are an OG fan, you know that I used to play the customizable card game, otherwise known as Star Wars CCG, which has a pretty fervent fan community still that actually still makes cards. So hopefully maybe if Destiny dies, people will still be doing that here. I've been obsessed with this game for 6 months with no one to play it with. I've been thrusting it upon not family members, but coworkers, onto friends that unwittingly spend 2 hours hearing me explain this game. So I decided I'm just going to play this on the internet, and I might be doing stuff where I make these little deck boxes and make like little thematic decks and send it to friends. Hey, you know what? these cards might not get updated ever again, or maybe after the next set, according to people that are experts in this field. Maybe we're done with this, but I will be buying some old sets and hopefully playing some fun decks with some fun people, especially my boys Patrick and Alex will probably be doing this with me at some point. And the idea is just to have some fun and maybe make fun of Star Wars a little bit and make fun of more fanboyism. So here, look at this setup, all right? It's gonna get ugly for a second here because I'm just gonna take this webcam. Look at this badass game mat that I bought from the Fantasy Flight game store in St. Paul, Minnesota. I literally could have bought this online, but I'm like, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to get the literal actual... I'm going to the store and buying the thing. Now, I'm sure I could have gotten a better deal somewhere on the internet, but it just felt very special to go there. This is literally the first use I've had of it. Seriously, I have no friends. Please help me. This is the first use I've had of this, showing it on here. Now, I bought a deck box from the newest set called Spark of Hope, okay? I don't have any currently unboxed because I've unboxed them all already. One thing that you try to do if you're going to build up these decks in the future, and if you're going to have some fun with it, you need to have basically 2 copies of some of your most iconic characters because they are more powerful and they have dice in them. So this game is a card and dice game. Now, when I unbox things, seemingly it's supposed to be random, but they did a pretty good job of not giving me too many of the same major characters. So I took it upon myself that if I want to create a cool thematic deck, and they have a really fun metric for Kylo and Rey, where even though they're villains and heroes, they can play together. And so what I'm going to do is end up buying some singles, which I'm going to unbox today, and create a thematic Reylo deck, and just piss off people that don't believe in Reylo. All right, so I'm not going to show the address on here because it's going to have my home address. But one of the things I wanted to do is get a second copy of Kylo and a second copy of Rey. Fortunately, Rey must be much more rare than Kylo. Ooh, look at this. So I was hoping they'd be packaged in a nice way. There's a nice little card protector on this one. Thank you, Team Covenant, for caring about how this gets to me. So notice you got this die here. Excuse me, I'm going to say the die word wrong all the time. So let's take out some of this. Okay, so I got 2 Kylo Ren cards. You don't need 2 cards. I have 2 now. You don't need 2. What you do need is 2 of these, because these allow you to attack, get rid of opponents' cards, do special things, or if you're unlucky, do nothing. And if you have 2 of these, you obviously have some more power because you roll these and resolve the dice and whatnot. And now this is like the first major character other than Aayla Secura that I have an elite of. Elite is when you have 2 of them. And for organized play, which I will never hope to do, you need to have, if you're going to play elite, you can't just buy any die. You have to have bought the second version of this. I have, like, just for fun and friendship, I've been using regular 6-sided die because you can just count up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and do it that way. But that's not kosher, so here we are. Let's look at what else is in our goodie bag here. Okay, so we got, this is just the envelope. And a little thank you and keep playing from Team Covenant. Oh, thanks, guys. So, the world needs tabletop. Hell yeah, I believe that. Your purchase makes you a part of this movement. You have positively influenced the future of tabletop gaming. Well, okay, so because I bought some singles from you guys, that's a little grandiose, but I'll take it. These guys are great. Their physical shop is located in Tulsa, but I learned pretty much 100% of the game of Destiny from these folks at Team Covenant. They have quite the e-commerce business and kind of, I guess, influencer network because they're, of course, trying to promote the games that they're into. They're into a number of games, not just Star Wars related. There's, of course, Arkham Horror, just, to name one of them that I can come up with at the top of my head. But a lot of these games that are formulated by the company called Fantasy Flight Games. So let's go ahead and open up this guy here. It's taped shut. And this is literally the best part whenever I am feeling really stressed about my day. I take the time and I just open more Destiny cards. Hope that's okay with my wife. It's okay. I don't spend that much money on them. They're not that expensive. Yeah. And as I'm building these games and as I'm building this deck up, what I'm trying to do is, again, essentially create decks that people will like to play with. Because that's the thing. If I bother you to play this game with me and I beg you, it's like, come on over, it's going to be a 2-hour affair. I can, of course, bribe them with beer and pizza. But if they're not into the game or if they're not into the characters, it might be dead on arrival. So, like, if I were playing, with, I don't know, like the Maz Kanata or something. That's not a starter, but let's say that's the character that I chose for my opponent. I don't know if I'm going to get too many friends to want to play this with me. So the idea is that if I can create some cool thematic decks, which I'll talk about one of them that I'm trying to formulate with other characters, like if I have this dual Kylo and also Rey, which is somewhere else in my deck. Let's see. She might be a little bit deeper into my deck. But Reylo essentially gets to fight alongside of each other if you use what's called a plot, because usually you have to separate your villains and your heroes. There's a temporary or an uneasy truce or temporary truce that you use in order to pair them together. They're both, of course, this blue color, which means they're Force users, and they do things to each other, like add shields or take away shields or attack and whatnot. So now I have what's called an Elite Kylo, so I can roll with that. So when I create this thematic deck, I can make something fun. Or if we look a little bit further, here it is. I had to order this one. This is a single because I didn't find it in my deck box. Temporary Truce. So you can only play and include Kylo Ren and Rey onto your team. You can include a villain and hero cards in your deck because usually, again, you have to separate them. But you cannot include gray cards in your deck. So that means nothing neutral. So you can play scoundrel cards. You can play red cards. If you have those characters on your team, most likely you're going to be filling up your point basis, which someday we'll get into. But there's another theme that I'm going to try to build up, and it's Ewoks. Now, I slightly follow the competitive play, even though I never hope to do it. But Ewoks have been kind of trouncing their way throughout competitive play in tournaments. People are winning tournaments with these Ewoks. And you'll notice these little point values down at the bottom here. This tells you... let's see if we can get a focus. Yeah, it's not focused enough. But it's going to be 8 out of 10 or 10 out of 12. So you want to add your point values up to 30. And with these two fellas... you can keep them without having 2 dice, because I think with Chief Chirpa, I might only have the 1. I might have 2. I can't remember. But with Chief Chirpa and Wicket, I only have 18. And there's also these diceless cards from unnamed Ewok warriors that are like 4 points each. So you can create this whole deck of all these little Ewoks, and there's little add-ons to it, like Chief Chirpa's village, hut. The Bright Tree Village is the one where they live, and all these little add-ons that you can make it more sustainable for your little cute teddy bears to trounce on your enemy. And they work in competitive play. They're literally times where the Ewoks are beating other people. So this was fun. This is exactly what literally I was just talking to myself about something that I like to play because nobody else plays it with me. Lastly, let's just look at other themes and things I'm going to be working with. So imagine me sending a deck box to a friend on the internet, and we're going to stream this together. And I came up with this one called Creepy Droids because I ended up having a bunch of droids that genuinely creep me out. So you have the Magna Guard, which is, I think, from the Clone Wars era, guards that would, protect General Grievous. We have the Sentinel Messenger, which is a droid that appears like it's got the face of the Emperor, but he just gives a message to different people after he died so that it keeps his legacy going for I think it's called Operation Cinder. So it's like what happens after he dies and what people are supposed to go do. And then, of course, there's the Bounty Hunter 4-LOM, otherwise known as For Love of Money. That's what that stands for. I bet you didn't know that. So 4-LOM, Sentinel Messenger, and Magna Guard coming at you with these creepy droids. This is a villain deck, so that means there's only villain cards in there. And then maybe I send that to you, and you play Creepy Droids versus my Kylo Ren, or we'll call it Reylo because that's what it is. Or maybe I'm playing my hero. I'm playing my hero Ewok set against you, whatever. So, as you can imagine, it's been a little bit of a problem for me because this is literally all I can think about is playing this damn game. Thank you, Fantasy Flight Games, because now I am addicted. Ooh, let's just open some more cards. Bib Fortuna. Roll character die onto your characters into your pool. Okay, that's not that exciting. But what I want to do, obviously the focus of this will be to create some funny narrative with it. So like imagine if I was, we found ourselves in Bright Tree Village and we have our Ewok characters, and then for some reason the creepy droids found themselves at Bright Tree Village. Maybe we have a little fun story to it, because thematically some things would work. Ooh, ouch. This one's called Force Rend, and it appears to have some broken limbs there from this poor rebel guy, presumably by Darth Vader. So imagine if I had a Darth Vader card, I could play this on a rebel and break some Ewok legs or something like that, and tell a fun little tale. All right, let's open one more, and we'll call it a day, because this is a weekday after all. Oh, I got another Bib Fortuna. See, now this box is much more random than the Spark of Hope box. It seems like, with randoms, you would think that you would get more of these doubles. So I got 2 Bibs, which means I can run him Elite. Again, if you see this, Elite means that it's the second number on that 9-12, which then means I can roll 2 dice with this guy. So, here we are. Looking forward to playing with some friends on the internet. Also, this is an excuse for me to work on getting the audio set up for our next episode. But it's been real. Cheers, everybody.